this has serious implications not only for the Chicago Bulls, but unfortunately for Patrick Williams, as he has asked the question, is he even having fun playing basketball anymore? And of course, that has to absolutely scare you if you are a Chicago Bulls fan or even just a huge Patrick Williams fan. Hello, my name is Isaias Jackson Jr. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Bulls Digest. We're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this thing, because this is the last thing you want to hear, not only from somebody like Patrick Williams, but just from a young NBA player that's pretty much on the rise and somebody we know has a whole lot of potential. It's just a matter of when are we going to see that potential come out, and when are we going to see him go off for that explosive year, that explosive season that we expect him to have. Before we get into that, do got to tackle the elephant in the room. 67.5% of you guys aren't subscribed, while 32.5% of you guys are. Look, I understand that we are here to talk about the Bulls. We're your best friends. That's what we're trying to be here. We're trying to be your best friends, because we know at some point in times we're suffering. We're suffering watching some Chicago Bulls basketball, and you got to get it out of your chest. You got to get it off your chest. You got to get it out of your system. So I think the fun thing about this is you get to come watch us, and we get to share in our misery or share in our excitement, as we have been doing so far. So don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe button, and you can also join in, and also not only the fun but the misery of being a Chicago Bulls fan as well. Trust me, it's funner than what I'm talking, and then how I'm explaining it right now. So just jumping right into it, we got to get into Patrick Williams and what he's going through right now, because when the question was asked, is he even having fun anymore? Just this is coming after that abysmal game that he had against Dallas, where he didn't even score at all in 16 minutes of playing time. And honestly, when you're looking at Patrick Williams, you know you have something there. You know you have a star there. It's just a matter of when are you going to see him break out for the season that we know he is going to have at some point in time. He already signed that 4-year, $90 million contract last season. Of course, 5-year, $90 million contract last season. So you know there's something there. The Bulls have trusted, to have faith in him. And I mean, I believe the fans do too. It's just a matter of when are we going to see this come to fruition. So Patrick Williams goes in and he says, that's what kind of got me to this point, holding myself to that high bar, you can say. And it's not necessarily making or missing shots, but how I'm playing, the energy I'm playing with. When that doesn't happen, then something has to change. But only one thing can change, and it is me, and it is in me. But we don't know right now what that change is for Patrick Williams. Is that a change in coaching? Is that a change in what he's doing before games? You know, how he's coming through in practice. You know, what can we do to get the fullest potential out of Patrick Williams? Because we talk about his rookie season, and even the year prior, his sophomore season, I don't think it was that bad either. You know, I thought his rookie and sophomore seasons were the best that we saw from Patrick Williams. Everything else just pretty much regressed, which was the pretty much the sad part about this whole thing. He goes on to say, but for sure, as one of the young staples of this group, there's a lot that comes with that off the court, being professional that way, but also on the court, holding yourself to that standard. The team holds me to that standard. I will hold myself to that standard. And when I'm not playing to that standard, you shouldn't be happy. And that's sad to hear. You know, that's insanely sad to hear. We're going to get into Billy Donovan's comments too, because he talked to Billy Donovan after that Dallas Mavericks game. And even after the Dallas Mavericks game, he dropped 16 points against OKC. Granted, the Chicago Bulls still lost that game, but you still had a 16-point game, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Still a solid outing for somebody like Patrick Williams. But then, of course, after that, what do you get from him? A 7-point game. And then you're looking at that Trailblazers game last night. What does he get you? 2. He only gets you 2 points. You know, you're losing your minutes. You already lost your starting role. You lost your starting position. You know, Montes Buzelis is pretty much living his best life right now, playing outstanding basketball. And now you have Dallin Terry that's coming out. He's playing lights out, or at least can in some instances. You're losing your minutes. You know, you're losing your spot day by day, it seems like, with Patrick Williams. And this is the last thing I think you would have expected, you know, from Patrick Williams himself. And so, just moving on to Billy Donovan, because I do think Billy Donovan has some great things to say. Billy Donovan comes out there and says, "We spent some time talking Sunday because I felt the game against Dallas. He just seemed out of sorts. He even said, 'I just got to be better. I just do.' I give him credit. He came in the next morning. He was working, trying to get better. He wants to be a very good player and wants to perform. So at least you know the dog is there. At least you know the dog mentality is there for Patrick Williams. But right now, it's a little demoralizing. Right now, he's in a slump right now. And honestly, if you want to argue, this slump has been going on for about a year and a half. In terms of what you wanted to get out of Patrick Williams. And so when you see the work that he's putting in off the court during game time, when he's getting into practice, him just trying to get his mind right, trying to get himself into game shape. You love to hear that he's putting the work in, but it's just a matter of what are we getting afterwards. What are we getting when it's all said and done, when the lights are on Patrick Williams. So Billy Donovan continues because he was asked whether Williams even knows how to be a better player. And so Billy Donovan says, "I think he does. The biggest challenge for him, in my opinion, is going to be decision making. I think he would be the first to say the way he's played is not who he wants to be. He's trying to go back to work." He also goes on to continue and say, "I don't necessarily have a great answer on where he is mentally or what's going through his head in the course of a game. I do think that one of the things that he struggled and battles with is where the harshest critic on himself is where he's the harshest critic on himself on the court." I can repeat that. "I do think one of the things that he struggled and battles with is where he's the harshest critic on himself on the court." Damn, Billy. He's done a good job of late. And I think his rookie year was a major problem. And yeah, as I mentioned before, I think rookie season was the best we got. Rookie and sophomore season was the best we got from Patrick Williams. And after that, it just kind of withered away. And I think there was some huge high expectations on Patrick Williams. When he first got drafted, of course, there was a little bit of skepticism there. But as soon as he started playing and as soon as you get the baby claw nickname splattered on him, you already know you're expecting something huge from this man. So it's sad that we didn't get that. It's just so unfortunate that we just couldn't see that from Patrick Williams right out of the gate. So looking at it now, just seeing his splits as of now, right now, averaging 8.7 points per game, 3.8 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.5 blocks, 0.7 steals, and that's what hurts me the most. That's what really, really stings, with Patrick Williams for me. Because even on the offensive side, even if the offensive side isn't clicking for Patrick Williams, the defensive side is what we were really stoked about with Patrick Williams. At 0.5 blocks, 0.7 steals, it's just not where you want to be at if you were Patrick Williams. And then, of course, the 1.3 turnovers a game. Sometimes the ball just slips right out of the man's hands. A little embarrassing from time to time. It's just awful. It's just really, really awful. And right now, he's shooting 38% from the field, 34% from three-point range. You just want to see better from Patrick Williams. And I think better is coming. I mean, hot take here, not necessarily. I do think a lot of people believe this, but I do think Patrick Williams' greater days will shine when he's out of a Chicago Bulls jersey. When the Chicago Bulls finally say, you know what, I think we're giving up on this Patrick Williams experiment, and he finally goes on to somewhere else, I do think is when we'll see him shine, and he'll be a whole lot better. He probably just needs that change of scenery, a change of coaching, something to help him. But right now, hearing the question being asked if Patrick Williams is having fun playing basketball when, of course, you're seeing him on the floor, I won't necessarily say lifeless, but the heart isn't there. The intensity isn't where it needs to be, or at least where it's not where it was at when he was in his rookie and sophomore season. So we got to keep an eye out for Patrick Williams, man. Are you ready to give up on this Patrick Williams experiment? That's the biggest question I want to ask, because I do think the Patrick Williams experiment, we shouldn't give up on it just yet. I want to give him at least a year or two, because I do think there is something there. I do believe there is something there, and I do think even though the starting position is you lost it. I'm sorry. Montes Buzelis is just absolutely killing it. He's on fire right now. I think it's unfortunate that Patrick Williams lost his job. Let's see if you could do some damage off the bench. You know, I do think Patrick Williams could be something amazing off the bench. There is a role for Patrick Williams. It's just a matter of finding out where. But we got to keep an eye out on him, because the minute he starts losing his passion, he starts losing his confidence, and though we start seeing a little bit more of those 0-point games, 2-point games, 4-point games, I think that's when we finally lost it. We finally lost, you know, in that Patrick Williams experiment, and I think it'll just be best to give up. Not there yet, but I think we'll be coming up on that time. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts and comments. Let me know your thoughts in the comments because Patrick Williams, I do think, can be a shining point for the Chicago Bulls. I mean, I believe he is now. It's just a matter of finding out what do we need to do to get that out of him. I do think there still is time for Patrick Williams, a young guy. So just a matter of when. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video.